Call the Hammond Redevelopment Commission meeting to order on this Tuesday, December 17, 2024. It is now 4:30. The meeting will begin. Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence after?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. Cynthia, can we get a roll call?
Tomich.
Here.
Kubaki.
Here.
Mosley Shelton.
Here.
Myricks.
Here.
Hubbard.
Here, for the record, all 5 are present. Number 3, declaration of conflict of interest. Okay, number 4 is communications. I think we did receive one, so.
We did receive one from Four Brothers Property, Inc. They are interested in the HRC-owned property at 5529 Calumet Avenue.
Okay, just for the record, just put it in the minutes that we did receive one. No actions needed, and we'll just refer this over to staff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 5 is our minutes dating November 19th, 2024.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the minutes dated November 19, 2024, with the corrections of, on page 1, moved by, at the last paragraph, moved by Commissioner, it should be Myrick, second by Commissioner Tomich. And on page 3 and number 9, it should be moved by Commissioner Myrick, seconded by Commissioner Tomich. With those corrections, I'd like to place them on file.
Second.
Okay, you have a motion by Commissioner Tomich, second by Commissioner Myricks, with the corrections as noted to be placed on file with those corrections. Roll call then.
Tomich.
Yes.
Kubaki.
Yes.
Mosley Shelton.
Yes.
Myricks.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Number 6 is our homebound conditional forgivable loan approval. You have, Cynthia just told me her first name, but I'll just say we have a Miss Rangel for 6248 Harrison. I didn't want to butcher your first name.
My first name is Sitlali.
Salali. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, Commission. We have Sitlali Rangel, who is purchasing 6248 Harrison. She will receive up to $7,000 for the forgivable loan.
So, Ms. Rango, are you a first-time homebuyer?
Yes, I am.
And how did you hear about our program?
I was born and raised in Hammond for half of my life. I was also a college-bound student, so I'm a little bit aware of the city of Hammond and the help they offer. So yeah, I like Hammond, so I want to stay.
I got one last question.
Who was your realtor?
Who is your realtor?
So I actually didn't have one. It's a private sale.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Okay, by owner.
I have a question, Dry. Did you say 7,000 or 10,000?
So it's up to $10,000, but she
It
will
is up,
receive,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
up to 10,
but she is getting 7,000. But we know it is. Okay, thank you.
Mr. President, there's no further questions. I'd like to make a motion for the approval for the homebound conditional forgivable loan for Ms. Rango at 6248 Harrison.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Myrick, second by Commissioner Kubaki. Let's have a roll call.
Tomich.
Yes.
Kubaki.
Yes.
Mosley Shelton.
Yes.
Myricks.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Thanks for
everyone.
staying in the city.
Oh, thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone.
You Merry too. Christmas.
Okay, number 7 is the acceptance of requests for proposals for the sale of real estate for property commonly known as 4423 Johnson Avenue.
Members of the commission, you received one, and that is from a individual named Floribel Rivera. They would like to offer $2,500 for the property, and it's to add it to 4421 Johnson. so they can build a storage or a shed and build a fence.
Okay.
Mr. President, if there's no other questions or comments, I'll make a motion to approve the acceptance proposal for the sale of the real estate property commonly known as 4423 Johnson Avenue.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Kubaki, second by Commissioner Shelton. There's no further questions then. Roll call, please.
Tomich?
Yes.
Kubaki?
Yes.
Mosley Shelton?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Poppridge?
Yes, motion passes with 5 yes. Okay, number 8's approval for professional services. That's our appraisers, attorney, HUD IDS consultant, housing services consultant, environmental consultant, and financial consultant.
Commissioners, this is our annual request for qualifications for our professional services. And if you don't mind, I will quickly read through. For appraisers, we have Martinez, Sharma and Associates, Vale Appraisal Group, Valuation Services and Appraisal and Advisory, American Valuation Appraisal Services, and Professional Appraisal Services. For our attorney, we have Wesleyan and Bennett, PC. For HUD and IDIS consultants, we have William Kubel, Principal for Usona Development, LLC. For Housing Services Consultant, we have Americo Incorporated. Environmental Consultants, we have Americo Incorporated, Envioforensics, and Patriot Engineering and Environmental. And lastly, for financial consultants, we have Development Economic Finance and Carl Sender with Sender and Company. We're just asking for approval on these contracts.
Second.
Okay, then a motion's been made by Commissioner Myrick, second by Commissioner Tomich. That's the approval for the professional services here as listed with the various companies. Roll call then.
Tomich?
Yes.
Kubaki?
Yes.
Mosley Shelton?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Poppridge?
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. All right, number 9 is an approval of development agreement between the Hammond Redevelopment Commission and Ascent Hospitality.
Commissioners, this is a development agreement. We are requesting Redevelopment Commission enter with Ascent Hospitality for a hotel in the 1st District. This is up in the Marina District development. The hotel will be a Town Place Suites by Marriott, which would commence construction in spring of 2025. The reason for the development agreement is we have offered a 10-year standard real estate tax abatement for the developer. This will be a savings for them over 10 years of around $700,000. And also the commission agrees to help them demolish an old car wash that is located on the parcel in amount not to exceed $50,000. And with these 2 incentives, we will help this developer build our first hotel up near the casino, marina, and the beach. It's a great development for this area. Let me know if you have any questions.
No, I don't. It's good to see the Marriott come to Hammond, especially being close to the casino and up there, so I think
Agreed.
it'll do very well.
Mr. Commissioner, or Mr. President, I'm so sorry. He told me not to say that, too. If there's no further questions, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of the development agreement between the Hammond Redevelopment Commission and the Ascent Hospitality.
Second.
That's quite all right. Then a motion's been made by Commissioner Tomich, second by Commissioner Kubaki. That's for number 9, the approval of development agreement between the Hammond Redevelopment Commission and Ascent Hospitality. Roll call, please.
Tomich?
Yes.
Kubaki?
Yes.
Mosley Shelton?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Poppridge?
Yes, motion passes with 5 yes. Okay, number 10 is approval of resolution number 2024-16, a resolution of Hammond Redevelopment Commission pledging certain tax increment revenues to the payment of certain economic development revenue bonds of the City of Hammond YMCA project.
Members of the commission, this is the, I'm going to say the last step, although Mr. Myrick will catch me if it's not, so in a month or so. But this should be, if not the last, the second to last step for this development for the YMCA project. You'll remember you've authorized the bonds before, we've entered into a development agreement before, and now this resolution is saying, yeah, go ahead and go out and get the bonds, and we're going to pay them from the TIF revenues and other resources. But it authorizes an amount up to $6 million. The commitment on the development agreement is an additional $5 million.
I heard the 6 million additional.
The additional million, the difference is issuance costs and potentially held interest and things like that, that we always build in a cushion over the top of what we are going to owe the developer.
That's a good mechanism to have in place. Thank you.
I'm pretty sure this is your last step, and since I said that, I'm now sure that there's going to be one more step.
Of course it will.
Mr. President, I would like to make a motion for the approval of resolution number 2024-16, the resolution of the Hammond Redevelopment Commission pledging certain tax increment revenues to the payment of certain economic development revenue bonds of the City of Hammond YMCA project.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Tomich, second by Commissioner Shelton. Let's have a roll call then.
Tomich?
Yes.
Kubaki?
Yes.
Mosley Shelton?
Yes.
Myrick?
Yes.
Helpridge?
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Number 11 is approval of resolution number 2024-17, a resolution of City of Hammond Redevelopment Commission as a declaratory resolution establishing and designating the City Hall redevelopment area, approving a redevelopment plan for the City Hall redevelopment area, and designating the City Hall redevelopment area as the City Hall allocation area for the purpose of tax increment financing, all pursuant to Indiana Code 36-7-14 and the Indiana Administrative Code 50 IAC 8.
Well, Mr. Bowditch is right on cue. I was going to steal his thunder, so while he gets situated, I'll just generally tell you that this declaratory resolution is your kickoff resolution for establishing the TIF area, which is roughly from 165th to 150th along Calumet Avenue, the purpose of which would be to pursue, there's a map on page 20 of the plan that you can see the entire area covered, and the purpose of which is for potential economic development opportunities from 165th up to 150th on Calumet Avenue. As you know from past experience, the declaratory resolution is the first step. It winds up going to the council and then back to you for a confirmatory resolution, so you're going to get another crack at this, but this sort of starts the process. And with Dan now getting comfortable, I'm sure he's going to have something to add.
And this will help Redevelopment Commission capture some increment that's coming up. We have Swanell, and that is busy building their expansion that will start to capture. We have a U-Haul development happening a little north of us, and it will help incentivize other developments along this Calumet corridor that really could see some redevelopment. So we're pretty excited about this tool.
And the key, from a legal perspective, of doing it in your last meeting of 2024 is I get to go back and set a base as of January 1 of 2024, whereas if I punted this to your January, whatever, 6th, 7th meeting, whenever that is, you would lose a 1 year's worth of increase that has happened in 2024. So Mr. Bowditch was kind enough to get this resolution together for your last meeting so that we could capture that increment. And now I see he's like raring to go.
I'm ready to
No, I
roll.
think that's very important, not to lose a year. And
Well, when significant things have happened, then yeah, it's a big number.
now we're in this parameter too, right, from 165th to, okay.
Correct. It's so the redevelopment boundaries for the redevelopment plan in the area are generally 165th Street, north of where the Walgreens and the new fueling station is located. That is the Gateway's allocation area, the Calumet Avenue extension and an amendment to that plan. So these two areas are going to be tangential and connect, so that in the future, if they need to be merged, they could be. So it starts at 165th, just north of the CVS store. It extends north to 150th Street generally, so it's very linear. And in general, it's the east side of Calumet Avenue, US Highway 41, and the west side, with the exception of a number of parcels that go either on the west side to Jefferson or to the alley or to development opportunities that may be available. For example, the Kenwood School, that block is an opportunity for redevelopment, so we've included that entire block. The City Baptist School, that is an entire block that is considered for development on the north side. Addition is the Edison School here on, is it?
Wallace?
Wallace.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Wallace School,
Wallace.
that block also is an opportunity for redevelopment. Now, throughout the redevelopment area itself as proposed, it is generally the land use plan, and it doesn't show in your plan because the layers didn't show correctly, but predominantly it is a commercial corridor C4 land use for the plan. It is also for some instances where there is residential, a potential for redevelopment, residential mixed use, meaning if it was commercial on the first floor, potentially residential on the second or third floors, again, consistent with the architecture and scale of the corridor itself. Now, that doesn't mean that any properties are on the acquisition list, which if you were to look in the appendices, there is no property on the acquisition list at this time. So there is no, it's a function of there is no interest at this time. The commission does not have the ability for eminent domain only through the city. You can make that recommendation to the city. So it's a matter of a willing seller, willing buyer. If that were to happen, it would be placed on the acquisition list and you'd amend your plan. But at this time, it's a willing seller, willing buyer for economic development. We've identified the opportunities, especially what I call the triplex parcel. U-Haul has a potential for an economic development project. That's a triangular property. Other development or assisting existing businesses to upgrade their facilities, either with facade grant improvements, redevelopment, rehabilitation, assistance, so that the plan can over time it be implemented, so that the corridor continues to exist as a major arterial highway or road through the city that connects the north part of the city through Whiting and up through Chicago, down to South County through Dyer and further south, which it serves as its purpose now. In reality, and we've been working on this for about a year and a quarter, we divided the corridor, because it's so linear, into three separate areas, a north, central, and south. The south area, generally from 165th to City Hall Highland Street, is more related to land use that are specific to the I-94 interchange and 165th major arterial, because that's an east-west major arterial that connects Hammond to Illinois and continues to the east to other communities. So it really serves the function of that juxtaposition or intersection of those two major arterials. Once we get up to City Hall and then through up to Fayette, It's more of a commercial corridor that serves the adjacent residential areas and neighborhoods. So functioning as how do we entice or target businesses to serve those uses as well as the corridor itself in its entirety. Now, north of Fayette up to 150th is more of a light industrial, but has a potential for commercial corridor also to transition as we go north into the more industrial area of Robertsdale and North Hammond. So we've looked at it as 3 different areas, but yet one corridor, so that it can be improved over time within a 10-year to 20-year time frame with the assistance of the Redevelopment Commission. If there are any detailed questions, I also have completed the, because it's so linear and the boundaries intermingle and meander, the boundary description is complex, so it is complete and finalized, but it does follow the maps that are included in the plan itself. Oh, I did want to, just for assessed value purposes, and not to keep you any longer, is that we did collect the information for every parcel within the proposed redevelopment area. It has a gross certified assessed value of $27,079,000 generally. I rounded up a little bit. The net certified AV is $22,125,000 of assessed value. The amount of total tax liability for the properties within the area was $587,000 in paid 2024. So we've identified the number of vacant parcels. We've identified all the statutory requirements for an area needing redevelopment, which includes cessation of growth, deteriorating improvements, environmental contamination, character of occupancy, age, obsolescence, substandard buildings, and other factors. And we did go through and down the corridor to identify those properties that would meet those conditions. And so just as a refresher, the area is defined, and assuming the declaratory resolution is approved today, it is declared as an area needing redevelopment. It is not a blighted area. However, we do look at those conditions that traditionally in past years have been considered blighting conditions, which I just went through, just for the purposes of that we did identify the parcels. It's predominantly commercial with some light industrial. It is broken down for you. Let me find the page for you really quickly. It is a total of about 150 acres in totality. 17 acres, or about 12% is industrial, industrially assessed by the Lake County Assessor. 25 acres, or 17%, is commercially assessed. 5%, or 7.6 acres, are residentially assessed. 10 acres, or 6.9%, 7% is utility or a railroad corridor. And the biggest one is tax exempt, about 90 acres, or 60% of the area is tax exempt, which is really why you have this identified as the City Hall redevelopment area. It's how do we use the tax exempt properties, because most of them are owned by the Redevelopment Commission. That's why they're tax exempt. And how do we dispose of those as a commission for redevelopment purposes? Other than that, I don't know if you have any other questions on the redevelopment area. We work closely with the city planning department and Brian Poland to go over the goals, objectives, the mission, and to identify the specific boundaries, and working with the Mayor's Office of Economic Development, all the individuals associated with in the beginning of the plan, to make sure that we included as much economic development opportunity as possible, so that as the plan is implemented, the allocation area provision will take effect, and incremental tax increment will be used, as well as other potential redevelopment commission funds to implement the plan.
Thank you, Dan. It's a lot of work here. It's great.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a very linear, long corridor.
For a bird's eye view of the map on page 13, you can see it all at once.
Yeah.
So it's great. Thank you.
Oh,
Any
you're welcome.
questions for Dan?
No, same thing. That's well put together, Dan. This is a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, and
And it is in a little bit different format from prior years.
Right.
To go through and identify.
I was following along on page 19 when you were given the acreage and that.
Right.
It's on page 19. And this is great for our staff too, with, they can refer back to all this, what you put
Right.
together.
And one of the, here's, excuse me, one of the unique or best, and I have to compliment the county commissioners and the county, the rest of the county, especially through mapping in the assessor's office, because when we downloaded all the information from the new GIS system and information, it included, we were able to identify all the parcels and we have all the raw data. That raw data includes a link to the assessor's office, and we'll provide that to the department and the commission. It includes a link to the assessor's office as well as the recorder's office. So if there is any one parcel that you may be interested in looking at as a commission or staff, you can click on that and it takes you right to the assessor's card. It'll show you a picture, so we didn't have to really go out and take pictures of all of the parcels, which we normally do.
I was gonna say, sometimes do you use engineering surveyors and stuff for things of this nature?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So it includes all the information from the homeowner, mailing information, assessment information, as well as the link to the assessor's office and the recorder. So you can find out when it was purchased, what the cost was, and who owns it by recorded deed. So they've done a good job on the county level with their GIS system.
Okay. Thank you for your services. It's well put together. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Dan.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
No further questions or discussions. I'd like to make a motion for the approval of resolution number 2024-17, resolution of the City of Hammond Redevelopment Commission as a declaratory resolution establishing and designating the City Hall redevelopment area, approving a redevelopment plan for the City Hall redevelopment area, and designating the City Hall redevelopment area as a City Hall allocation area for the purpose of tax increment finance, all pursuant to Indiana Code 36-7-14 and the Indiana Administrative Code 50 IAC 8.
Second?
Okay, motion has been made by Commissioner Myrick, second by Commissioner Tomage. If there's no further questions, roll call then.
Tomage?
Yes.
Kabaki?
Yes.
Mosley Shelton?
Yes.
Myricks?
Yes.
Poppridge?
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Okay, brings us to number 12, an approval of estimate from Howard's Tree Services for debris cleanup in Jacob Square.
Commissioners, we do have contracts with various landscapers and cleanup crews for our HRC-owned parcels all over the city. However, these parcels here have tree branches and trees and debris that go beyond the normal scope. So we received an estimate from Howard's Tree Service to help clean up 6 different parcels in Jacob Square and a couple here around City Hall. So we request your approval to get moving on cleaning up our properties here.
Mr. President, if there's no other questions or comments, I would like to make a motion for the approval of the estimate from Howard's Tree Service for debris cleanup in Jacob Square.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Kabaki, second by Commissioner Shelton. That's the approval of the estimate for Howard's Tree Services for the debris cleanup in Jacob Squares as the listed properties. Can we have a roll call, please?
Tomage?
Yes.
Kabaki?
Yes.
Mosley Shelton?
Yes.
Myricks?
Yes.
Poppridge?
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Okay, number 13's authorization to advertise a notice to bidders BP 02 for Hammond Sportsplex renovation addition.
Sure, thank you, Dean. It's all kind of related.
So I've been working with construction manager Bauer, just sort of overseeing what work that they are doing to progress the project. BP is bid package, so bid package number 2. The commissions are previously approved going out for contracts under bid package 1. That action, or at least a portion of that action, is your next item on your agenda. So this is the balance of all the work that's being done by division of work in the Sportsplex. In bid package 1, what was not included in tonight's agenda is site utilities, so that'll be rebid. Then there's HVAC and roofing and sports equipment and all the balance of the work that isn't going to be considered for approval tonight to complete the expansion of the Sportsplex. So this is your permission to advertise. They'll go out to bid. I understand that you're going to receive bids on, I think it's the 22nd of January, which is the day after your regular meeting. That'll give the consultant time to review the bids and make a recommendation before your February meeting. And so that's the schedule that they're on, and we'd ask for your approval to advertise. I'll take any questions if you have any.
No? I kind of knew this was coming, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. President, if there's no questions or discussion, I'd like to make a motion for authorization to advertise those bidders, BP02 for the Hammond Sportsplex renovation addition.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Myrick, second by Commissioner Kubaki. Let's have a roll call then.
Talmadge,
Yes.
Kubaki,
Yes.
Mosley Shelton,
Yes.
Myrick's,
Yes.
Poppridge.
Yes, motion passes, 5 yes.
Thank you to the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, number 14 then is an authorization to execute contracts for Hammond Sportsplex renovation expansion project. Looks like there's a precast structural concrete Grimmer Construction, cast in place concrete by Wagner, earthwork Grimmer Construction, structural steel Grimmer Construction.
Thank you again to the board for the opportunity to speak. So at a recent meeting, the board opened the bids. I believe it was at your last meeting, and the consultant had made recommendations for approving of these 4 particular bid packets. It includes the executing the agreement with corresponding bonds and insurance attached for these 3 divisions of work. My recollection is I reported at the last meeting that you were we're expecting these to be about $200,000 under budget at this stage, so hopefully that progress will remain. And we'd ask for your approval. You're authorizing the board president to execute those agreements, and I'd ask for that approval. I'll take any questions.
Mr. President, if there are no further questions, I'd like to make a motion for the authorization to execute contracts for the Hammond Sportsplex renovation expansion project, precast structural concrete Grimmer Construction, cast-in-place concrete by Wagner, earthwork Grimmer Construction, structural steel Grimmer Construction.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Shelton, second by Commissioner Myrick. Let's have a roll call then.
Talmadge,
Yes.
Kubaki,
Yes.
Mosley Shelton,
Yes.
Myrick's,
Yes.
Poppridge.
Yes, motion passes with 5 yes.
Thank you very much, and Merry Christmas to the board.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Dean.
Thank you.
Thank you, City Engineer. That was Dean Button. Okay, number 15 is our bills, register of claims.
Mr. President, if there's no further questions or any questions, I'd like to make a motion to approve the register of claims for the Hammond Redevelopment Commission, beginning with claims dated 12/2/24 and ending with claims dated 12/11/24, claim number R66466 through R66523 inclusive.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Tomage, second by Commissioner Shelton. That's the Register of Claims dated December 2nd, 2024 through December 11th, 2024. Claim R66466 through claim R66523 inclusive. Is there any questions or comments on these claims for staff? Okay, then roll call, please.
Tomage,
Yes.
Kubaki.
Yes.
Mosley Shelton,
Yes.
Myrick,
Yes.
Poppridge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Reports, we have Ms. Ann Taylor tonight. Would you like to share anything?
I would just like to share that I'm very appreciative and thank you very much for all your hard work in 2024. We had a lot of projects come before us, and I look forward to many more in 2025. So thank you so much.
All right, we
you for
appreciate
all
you
your
too.
hard
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, yeah. Just send me more emails, Ann.
We appreciate Attorney Westland too, and your whole staff, and,
Tony does. You don't.
all right, we wish you also a Merry Christmas and the whole city administration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 17, new and unfinished business. I think we have an item tonight.
We do. We had something that slipped in. I'm requesting ratification on a signature I needed to do the other day. This is in regards to the LaSalle Hotel in downtown Hammond, redevelopment owned. We've done a handful of upgrades to the ground floor restaurant space with HVAC, new ADA bathrooms, et cetera. And so we're going to need an electrical upgrade at this business. So this is just a signature I needed for them to proceed with the upgrade of electrical so we can get some redevelopment in that building.
Okay, then, anybody want to entertain a motion for an electrical upgrade at this address?
Second.
Okay, motion's been made then by Commissioner Myrick, seconded by Commissioner Tomage. Roll call then.
Tomage,
Yes.
Kubaki.
Yes.
Mosley Shelton,
Yes.
Myrick,
Yes.
Poppridge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Okay, number 18 is public comment. I will open that up now. Public comment is open. Public comment is open. If anybody would like to come forward, you may do so. We'll give you 3 minutes to speak. Okay, then public comment is closed. Public comment is closed. Public comment is closed. Can we get a number 19?
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can you all signify by aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned.